Julie, a Magic School for Girls chapter book. Chapter 8, A Little Problem. The students got to keep their pets with them for the entire day if they wanted. Julie's mom had offered to pick up Moonbeam after the presentation, but Julie wanted Moonbeam to stay all day. She wished Moonbeam could come out of his kitty carrier too. She knew if she took Moonbeam out of the carrier, he might get away or cause trouble, but Julie still wished that he could come out. Instead, she poked her fingers through the openings to pet Moonbeam and to give him treats. Even though it had been a special day for the students, they still had to do their regular lessons. So in the afternoon, Miss Betsy took everyone outside for more broomstick flying lessons. Julie had so much fun during Bring Your Magic Pet to School Day, she had completely forgotten about the flying broomstick lessons. But as she carried Moonbeam in his carrier outside, she began to feel her fear building. "I don't want to do this," she said to Bailey. While the other students were practicing zooming through the air, Julie sat on the ground with her broomstick. Miss Betsy encouraged her to participate, but Julie was simply too afraid. She really wanted to learn how to be a good witch, and it made her sad that she couldn't get over her fear of heights. When class was over, Julie and Bailey made their way out of the school with their broomsticks. Bailey had Woofer on his leash, and Julie had Moonbeam in his kitty carrier. Kate had a dentist appointment that afternoon, so her mom had already picked up Kate and Hop from school. As Bailey and Julie walked through the halls, Woofer got very excited because he knew they were going outside. He leaped and barked and wrapped the leash around Bailey's legs. Bailey struggled to keep him under control. She felt bad that Julie was sad about the flying broomstick lessons. Even though Bailey was distracted by Woofer, she tried to make Julie feel better. "I was thinking," said Bailey, "the thing you're afraid of most is falling, right?" Thinking about falling made a lump form in Julie's throat, so she couldn't speak. She nodded. "But Miss Betsy says it's perfectly safe because she has cast a safety spell on our broomsticks to keep us from falling and getting hurt," said Bailey. "Yes, that's true," said Bailey, "and while I trust Miss Betsy, something in my brain just doesn't believe it. I can't help it. It's too scary." "Right," said Bailey as Woofer jumped and pulled at the leash. "What I was thinking was, what if you saw someone else fall and land safely? Then maybe you wouldn't be so scared of falling." "Maybe," said Julie, "but who is going to risk falling?" "I'll do it," said Bailey. "I've read all about the safety spell, and I have no doubt it'll work. I'll just fly up and then fall on purpose. Then you'll be able to see that it is okay to fall." "Really? You'd do that for me?" Julie asked. "Of course," said Bailey. "You, me, and Kate all need to grow up and be witches together. And how can we do that if you can't fly on a broomstick? I've got your back, Julie." Julie couldn't believe how thoughtful Bailey was being, but she still felt nervous. But if she could see that the safety spell really did work, maybe her mind would stop making her feel so scared. "You're sure the spell will work?" Julie asked. "You won't get hurt?" "Miss Betsy's spells are super strong," said Bailey. "There's nothing to worry about. Let's go to the playground before we go home." "Okay," said Julie, "but be careful and don't go up too high." "Deal," said Bailey. But can you hold on to Woofer while I fly?" "Sure," said Bailey. Since school was out for the day, there weren't very many people at the playground. Bailey handed Woofer's leash to her. Julie held on to Moonbeam's carrier in one hand and Woofer's leash in the other, and she had her broomstick under one arm. Bailey got on her broom and slowly began flying into the air. Woofer jumped and barked as he watched Bailey climbing high into the sky. "Don't go too high," Julie yelled, holding tight to Woofer's leash. Bailey stopped flying. "Okay," she said. "Here I come." She tilted off her broom and slid off, but she didn't fall. Instead, the broomstick stayed in the air while Bailey floated slowly back to the ground. The safety spell had worked. Seeing Bailey in the sky like that made Woofer pull even harder on the leash. He lunged forward, and it jerked Julie forward. This made her drop Moonbeam's carrier. The carrier hit the ground, and the lid burst open. In a panic, Moonbeam darted out. Then the kitten saw Woofer, leaping around and barking. Moonbeam puffed up until he was at least 3 times his normal size. His tail, usually thin and graceful, looked like a big black hairbrush. Moonbeam hissed and dashed away. "Moonbeam! Come back!" Julie yelled, but the kitten had already found his way to a nearby tree and was climbing up, up, up.